Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Great Health, Abundant Happiness, and Outrageous Love. We're just getting back in from skiing. But you guys that follow us, you know, we just got back from a road trip out to Chicago for the Christmas holiday. We're back at Copper Mountain. Had a great day of skiing. What a bluebird day.
Oh my gosh, we so lucked out. I was really not, super enthusiastic about skiing today because the weather was supposed to be in the negatives, and I love to ski, but the negatives, I do get cold. And the sun was so bright that I think it hit 11 degrees, but it felt like the Bahamas.
Yeah, I don't like to look at it too closely because here the temperatures almost don't matter.
Right.
Obviously, if it's negative, it's cold.
Yeah.
But that sun is so bright at such a high altitude, and it's so dry here. If you haven't been out to Colorado, the dryness really helps out. I mean, if it's 20 degrees and the sun's out, I mean, you'll be down at the bottom in the sun, unzipping your jacket, having a beer, taking a break from skiing. I mean, it's that kind of weather,
And
right?
we hadn't been on our skis in, 2 weeks?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Yeah, so it was just so much fun to get back out there and breathe in that mountain air.
Great to be back out there.
Yeah, something so spectacular about the mountain air and seeing the snow-capped peaks. If you haven't been out here, please do put it on your list.
Yeah, it's great. But anyway, we want to talk to you tonight about monetizing LinkedIn. I've done a little research out looking around YouTube. I really don't see much on monetizing LinkedIn. So we wanted to kind of share that with you. I think most of you probably know about LinkedIn. It was purchased by Microsoft, but it's a great platform. It's been probably one of the greatest platforms in my business career.
Absolutely.
And we utilize it every day, right? I mean,
yes.
Yeah, and Karen's actually come on and started using LinkedIn as well as building out a base. What's interesting about it, you see everybody's career, not only what they're doing today, what they did up until today, and the boards that they're on, the businesses that they're in, and see all their posts as well as you can with a lot of other social media platforms.
Right, so it really gives you a tool to look at a person's interests, to see if there's a connection for business, for personal life, for both. It's been amazing for us, and you can only have 30,000 contacts, and I say only very lightly because that is a lot of contacts. Yeah, that's a lot. And very few people have 30,000 contacts. But Jeffrey is one of those people who's been utilizing LinkedIn for a long time, and has really, it's really been beneficial. And he has 30,000 contacts. So what happens is when you get requests for new contacts, or you want to, make a new contact, you actually have to go in there and let somebody go. And, I see the emails come in and you get like 20 to 40 requests, for daily for new people to come in. And, it's a shame that it's capped, right?
I think, I think it has something to do with the management of the base because it's so huge. And 30,000 contacts is a lot. Now, 30,000 contacts are people that you're connected with that you know in business. Obviously the 30,000 are not my closest friends. No offense to any of you out there that are connected, but we do have lots of people we worked with in business that are great friends, and a lot of people that we met along the way that are in there. So you can have more than 30,000 followers like many other social media platforms. So if you look at some of the big LinkedIn influencers, they might have hundreds of thousands of followers, but you can only have 30,000 contacts, and those are people that you can pass messages back and forth with and communicate like you would with any other friend on any other platform.
Right. And the other cool thing about LinkedIn is that it lists your connections.
Right.
So other people that you're connected to, which is really a beneficial tool as well.
Yeah, some people hide that, but you're absolutely right.
Oh, okay.
And I leave all that open, but a lot of people like to hide that in business. So if you're in the voice over IP space and you work for one company, you may not want to share your contacts with your competitor. I guess that's the mentality there. I'm always very open with these platforms and my contact information. Go to any of these contact platforms and you can get my telephone number right off of there, my email address. I figure if someone wants to get a hold of me, have at it. Reach out. That's what this stuff's all about.
And it's been beyond beneficial in people that you don't even know finding you on LinkedIn, and that turning into, financial reward, as opposed to, obviously, we don't do anything that we don't enjoy.
Right. Yeah. If we can help them out, obviously that's how we operate our business. It's a living, breathing platform. Back in the day when I started business, we had a Rolodex. All you younger people out there probably don't know what that is, but there was a Rolodex. You'd turn it, and the business cards or cards would be in there. Flip over all these things, and you'd see all these contacts. You go through the A's, the B's.
I'm so much younger, so I really don't know what a Rolodex is.
So that was before we had laptops and the internet. So I'm going way back there. But anyway, then there were electronic Rolodexes and all this stuff. In contact, and even today, you buy a lead list or something out there. It's usually, ran some large sales organizations. Every time we bought a lead list, I get the same answer: the leads are terrible. The leads are weak. Use a Glenn Ross term. The leads are weak. That's what all the sales guys always say, because they call sales guys and gals.
Right.
Because they call and one number was wrong. Somebody else wasn't there. They aren't updated. But the beauty of LinkedIn, it's a living, breathing database, because people update their own information.
Right.
When somebody takes a new job, if Karen takes a new job, she goes out and updates it, and it goes out to all of her contacts, so that we can congratulate her on taking that new job. But it also updates the database, so that if I want to contact her, I can go and look, and now she's working at ABC company. She used to work at XYZ. That's what I would have had in my database had I managed it myself. So LinkedIn is very valuable, because everybody's updating their own information in there. So it's not only up to date with the job that they're doing, but you can also see where they're posting and what they're involved in. There could be groups. You were mentioning groups earlier, right? They could be involved in groups, and obviously we're involved in some vegan groups where we want to get involved there.
Right.
We're also involved in health-minded group, technology groups,
mindfulness groups.
Yeah. So you have all these different sectors inside of LinkedIn for other people to have similar interests to you. So it's very powerful to utilize it that way.
Can you search by, let's see, there's a company that you want to reach out to. Can you get a list of all of the people on LinkedIn at that particular company? Yeah, if you type in a company name, you'll see all of the people on LinkedIn. So some companies are small, it might be 3 people on LinkedIn. Others might be 3,000. But it always states which ones you're connected to. So if there's 3,000, it might say, hey, Jeffrey, you're connected to 10 people at this company. But there's 3,000 on LinkedIn. So you can actually go out. If I want to talk to a CTO, I can actually go out and look up that CTO on LinkedIn and reach out. That's cool.
Yeah, that's the other thing. When you reach out to someone, they know who you are. So, hopefully that's good news.
No, but that's really important to be able to, go to somebody's LinkedIn profile and see that they are a real person. Unlike Facebook, sometimes you get, and nothing against Facebook, I love Facebook and utilize that a lot myself, especially, for family stuff. But Facebook, almost all of us have gotten some scams where they try to take over your Facebook page and then they ask for money, blah, blah, blah. LinkedIn doesn't really have that problem. Right, so it's so nice to look up a person, see that they do exist there, who they are. You can track it back, so that you're talking to the right person. Yeah, well,
to Karen's point, I mean, people reach out all the time, and I don't know if it's, a service. There's a lot of services out there that go out and set appointments for someone. So it may be someone just calling in out of a contact center, and they may be just setting appointments. They don't know who I am. They don't know what I'm interested in. They really don't know much about the person they're setting appointments for. So therefore, it could be a waste of time. I mean, I have a sales mentality, so I always look at everything as opportunity. So
to a fault.
Sometimes to a fault, as Karen will say, right? But at the end of the day, it's a way to go out and say, who is this person that's contacting me? I can look them up. I can see what they've done in their career, what they're doing today. And if it looks like it fits, I'll say, great, yeah, let's have a conversation. Send me an email here or call me on this number or IM me here. So it's a great way to know who's contacting you. On the flip side, when Karen and I have appointments with people, we always check out their profiles first.
Right. And also so that we know what they look like in case we're meeting them at a coffee shop or a restaurant. So
that's a great one.
Right. That's really important, as opposed to I'll be the person in the navy blue jacket or whatever.
Right. No, I love that. That's a great point. On your iPhone, you pull it up on LinkedIn. There's a picture of that person. I know what he or she looks like as I'm approaching. So that's a great value there. But also to know what their interests are before you meet with them. Mm-hmm. Do a little research and use it. It's all right there for you. Right. So you should know something about everybody if you're using LinkedIn as you go to meet with them. And not everybody's on LinkedIn, but most people in business are.
Right. And if you're not on LinkedIn, get on LinkedIn and send both of us a LinkedIn request, and we'll accept you. It'll take a little longer for Jeffrey to get to you, but I am not even close to 30,000 people. And so, Jeffrey, what are some great ways to, make it financially beneficial?
Well, what we want to talk about is to monetize LinkedIn. If you've got business contacts out there, people that you know, people that you care about, people that you've done business with, we have businesses that can help others. You've heard us talk about that a lot here. Karen and I are working hard on our project, Great Health, Abundant Happiness, Outrageous Love, where we're actually helping other people with relationships, healthful living, healthful eating, mindfulness, minimalism, all that kind of stuff. But we also have technology businesses where we're helping people in the business arena with technology. That's our background, and everybody in, we have a group called OTG. We've got over 200 people in OTG that are experts in the IT space. OTG stands for Old Telecom Guys and Gals. We have a lot.
I don't really like to put myself into that classification, but
you don't like the old part.
The old part. Yeah.
Well, it's great. The old part
you're as old as you feel.
Exactly, is all about the experience. So it's a bunch of us that have run companies in the telecom space. We've run companies in the internet space, software. So all of this stuff out there that businesses, if you're running a business, it's hard to decipher. What do I do when Avaya says, hey, I'm bankrupt? They went bankrupt a couple of years ago. Now they're out of bankruptcy. Now they're pushing customers to the cloud, but they're pushing them to Ring Central. What does that mean? Right. Other companies have filed for bankruptcy. They merge. A lot of companies are merging in the telecom sector. There's a lot of change as everything's moving out to the cloud. If you were just selling voice services and you're not prepared to go to the cloud, you're going to lose a lot of customers, so it's hard to maintain business.
Or if you are selling the cloud, but you only have one offering, that's all you have. So the value of working with these old telecom guys is that they have not only the experience, but the connections. When people work with you, Jeffrey, the biggest value is the fact that you have connections to the C-level. And if something happens, and things happen, that's the nature of the beast. Everything doesn't go perfectly smooth. Wish it did, but it doesn't. Right. So things happen, and the value of the clients that have gone through you is that it's one phone call and things get fixed. Instead of dialing the 800 number or calling, even calling your rep, who is, further down the food chain. And we work with a lot of these people every day. They're amazing. But the problem is they then have to go to somebody else who goes to someone else who goes to someone else. And you're not the first person in line.
Right.
When one of our clients calls Jeffrey and Jeffrey calls the CEO, we get to the top of the line and things get fixed. And that's a huge advantage.
Yeah, now that's a card we don't like to pull all the
Definitely
time.
Not.
And you don't have to just come through me. We have 200 other consultants that are tied into the network that we have. But Karen's absolutely right. So if you call 1-800-Comcast, 1-800-AT&T, at the end of the day, they're great companies. We do a lot of business with those guys. But if you've got something urgent and you need it escalated, we can do that.
Right. And if you're working with one of our other OTG agents and you have that issue, our agents have full access to call Jeffrey to make that phone call as well. So to your point, whomever you're working with at OTG has that same capacity to make sure that you are priority number one. And that is really important when you are switching over your phone services, which are your lifeline, right? That's your lifeline to the rest of the world when you're a business.
Yeah, phone services, think internet, think data services, think Internet of Things, wireless, connectivity, security, all of that stuff. So I don't want to go too deep into that here. We really want to talk about monetizing LinkedIn.
Exactly. I just want to say real quickly, because I know you don't want to go too deep. So the value of having that C-level connection, getting the best pricing that's available, because a lot of people are like, well, why wouldn't I just go direct and then I don't have to pay you? Our services are free. We get paid on the back end by whoever, so we are completely agnostic. And your prices don't change because of anything that we would get. Our services are free to you. Again, I want to reiterate that.
Yeah, that's a great point. The way this works in the telecom industry, back when I was over at Quest, I had almost 3,000 people working in my organization, the feet on the street and the sales engineers. There's not 3,000 people on the street if you add up AT&T, Verizon, or CenturyLink today, which was old Quest. So these telecom companies have downsized the sales organizations, and they pushed out to agencies. Think of like a brokerage firm. So we're like a brokerage firm. If you've ever bought health insurance through a broker, they're experts. I mean,
right. And some of them don't even have any salespeople, right? Some of them are.
Oh yeah.
Have now gone.
No, great point. A lot of the cloud-based providers are 100% integrated with agencies like ourselves. So to get back to monetizing LinkedIn, if you've got business contacts, we can help them, and we can bring you in. Let's talk about this offline, but bring you into OTG so that you can not only help your friends and family that are out there in business, help them get the best deals, get the best technology, and do it with less pain. To Karen's point, you could reach out on your own, but we do this every day. So if someone, for instance, wants to move to a voice over IP platform, they want to get rid of an old prem-based system and move to voice over IP, they come to us. We have a system where we go in, let's say they have 50 employees, we call it 50 users. That goes into our system. We pull 10 different bids together. We're going to look at these 3 to 5. These look good for you, Mr. Customer. Let's go do a demo, have a demo with these 2 or 3. Here's why they fit. We can go through the examples. We basically take what would take someone 4 months and bring it down to 24 or 48 hours and provide all of our knowledge around it. So we truly are helping people get hooked up with the best providers out there when it comes to technology, the best fit. I'm talking about for services and fit for relationships with the companies, the best terms, and obviously rates are important. But
exactly.
These guys are all pretty competitive anyway.
Any type of organization, we have a lot of clients that are nonprofit organizations, hospitals, basically any type of organization, from a small travel agency to a large multi-site location.
Absolutely.
So if cities, the city departments, the police departments, etc. So absolutely anyone and everyone that might be a contact of yours is a possible client that you could help them. And I have to say, it really feels amazing to be able to save these people a lot of money, create their efficiencies, and go to sleep at night just feeling really good about that. I mean, we've got clients that have become very good friends, and not only that, the real reward and testament are the friends that they send to us.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, no, it's great. It's great. And let me clarify too, as you were saying, you know, how we can help these others, or how you can help these others in your LinkedIn database. You may be sitting here listening to this like, I'm not a technology person, guys. You know, I don't know anything about what you're talking about, voice over IP, IoT, the Internet of Things. Whether you do or don't, it doesn't matter. If you have 10 contacts, I don't care if you have 10 contacts or 10,000 contacts in business on LinkedIn or other platforms, we can help them. And because you're associated with us, you can earn a residual income. And so that's the monetization piece. Not only are there substantial spiffs.
Could you just discuss residual, 2 seconds, residual income? I think everybody knows what it is, but just in case, because, you know, it's also known as mailbox money. And 2 seconds, go ahead.
Yeah, so residual income, you know, these services that we're talking about, all of these are monthly services. So, you know, people subscribe to different services. You have 50 employees, you have to buy 50 seats on a VoIP platform. Maybe you have to buy 50 email accounts or desktop as a service, whatever it is. So whatever you pay for in a business monthly, you pay out to a company, a residual commission comes back for those services. So you get paid every single month. I always joke about OTG. When I explain this to people, old telecom guys, I said, you know, we built this thing so we had so many people in the technology spaces. These firms are all combining. You know, it's like musical chairs. When two companies come together, there's never as many jobs after the fact, right? I mean, that's the way it is. When they merge two companies together for savings, they bring all the revenues together and they cut out the SG&A. That's all of the people and the buildings and all that stuff. So we've kind of created this platform to help people in the technology space, and it's expanded out to everybody else out there. That's why we're having this conversation. And it's designed so that when we sit there at the old folks' home in the rocking chair, and we're sitting with a bourbon on the deck, and each month check lands in the mailbox. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to enhance these golden years.
Usually for how long do those checks keep coming?
Well, as long as the clients are billing with the service provider. So, you know, it's years. You know, it could be 10 years. Right. We have clients that we've had as customers for more than 10 years, certainly. But, you know,
usually a minimum of 3 years.
3 years, yeah, as a minimum. If they move to somebody else, and you can actually move them over to somebody else and still pull in residual income there.
Sure.
So if you're interested in monetizing your LinkedIn network or any of your business contacts out there, reply to us down below. Just let me know, reach out and let us know how to get a hold of you. And we will send you email contact, telephone numbers, whatever it is. But let's communicate in the notes down below if you're interested and have a discussion. But all we need is 10 business contacts to get started. And I think you'll be very excited to see, you know, what we can do for your friends and family. And I truly say friends and family. That's how we started. We're helping people.
Exactly, and helping people. I just want to reiterate that what we're doing is solely to help other people have not just financial freedom, because financial freedom is wonderful, but only if you have lifestyle freedom. So, you know, and we sort of have found that the money has organically flowed, you know, once we put this into place. And, you know, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme or a scheme of any sort. You know, there's no cost to do this.
That's a great point. Right.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of businesses out there, it's like you got to spend X amount, and then you have to, you know, bring on 20 people in order for them to be successful, or for you to be successful.
Or a franchise, you have to have a couple $100,000. You have to open up a store. You have to hire people.
Right.
This is basically essentially a franchise. It costs you zero to get started. You don't have to have a physical office or a physical storefront. You don't have to have a website. We have all this stuff built out for you. But that's where we can go into detail.
Exactly. Right. And, you know, if you're curious about it, talk to us, and we can even take one friendly, somebody that you know really well. Maybe they own a small business, and we can help you with that, and you can see how easy this is to help somebody. You know, we've got a good friend who owns a law firm, We were able to help them. Not many seats. And another person who owns a, whether it's a hair salon, anything.
Right.
So
plumbers, software companies. I mean, from the largest corporations on the planet all the way down to mom and pop businesses. So we can help everybody. Everybody's using phones, wireless devices, internet, security to protect all that stuff. I mean, everything that we have in the portfolio. We have all the options, by the way. It's being used by every single business out there.
Exactly.
Right.
Wishing you great health, abundant happiness, and outrageous love from the Nest at Copper Mountain.
And go ahead and click around, because we're going to add a lot more detail on this as we go into 2020 and how we were building out this business. And we're going to share tips and tricks on how to help others and how to build your residual income.
Right. So subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. If you can subscribe, then you'll get all of our videos, which pertain not only to this, but to all of the other things that we talked about in the beginning. So please do subscribe.
Thanks.